Hello and welcome to the sixth day of IFS Arena development for IFS Cloud, everyone. Before we start off, several things. So I have actually, I have actually uh, put the source code uh, until the day 5, end of the day 5, in this day 6 directory in the public share. So if you want to work from, let's say this point onwards, you can use this source code and work from there. You will have to deploy them, but you can start working from there as well. So let me start off by recapping what we were doing yesterday. So we were actually doing this exercise number 10, where we were doing some uh, UI based changes to an existing form. This TR inventory products overview page was an existing form, and we were adding some badges to it. So actually, I think we did 3 of those exercises. So let's see what we have done and how we have done. And first of all, we customized this manage products uh, client. The reason was that the list and the page we wanted to customize was declared in this manage products client. So we customized it because we can't really change things in the core layer. We customized it and we created this file manage products dash cust.client. In there, we overrode the TR and inventory product list because we wanted to change some already existing fields into badge fields, and to do that, we wanted to change this list. And that's what we did. So we overrode this TR and inventory product list, and then we declare 2 badges. So first we declare this quantity badge. So again, the quantity was a field that was already existing as just a normal field, but by overriding and declaring it as a badge, we are overriding that behavior. We should be overriding that behavior, and then we added an icon and some conditions for badge colors, right? So we have this emphasis, and we have 2 colors, and we have conditions on when these colors should be shown. We also made a change to this branch ID field. We also converted that to a badge, and then we also added an emphasis to that as well. And yeah, and for to do that, uh, we needed an extra thing, and that was we need to check a field, that is the area ID, that we can get from another logical unit. However, in here in these conditions, there is no way we can do that. So therefore, what we did was we actually created a uh, new attribute in TR inventory product. So to do that, what we did was this TR inventory product was already declared in or maybe used in product handling uh, projection in there. So we customized that projection file and we created this product handling dash cust projection. In there, we are overriding the entity TRN inventory product, and we are declaring a new attribute. So declaring attribute is familiar to you. We have done it a couple of times now. And we declared a Boolean attribute called is product in Colombo. What we wanted to do was know whether this product in the TRN inventory product entity is in the Colombo area or not. Or in other words, whether the branch of that product is in Colombo area or not. So we did this SQL expression that would get us the result, and we are putting that in the fetch property of that attribute. And by using that attribute, now we are able to correctly predict whether this accent color, this complementary 9 accent color or the emphasis should be active or not, right? So we were able to do that. And also we had a problem where we are seeing 2 branch IDs, but this is a problem that you encounter when developing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disregard that for now. unfortunately, we will have to deal with this these two branch ID columns. Uh, Maybe I can try clearing the profile, and that might do the trick, but I will put that on hold because I want to show you something, and at that time I would clear the profile and see if it works, right? Right. So that's what we were doing, and uh, do you have any questions about these things we did yesterday, and or any other things? Okay, right. Okay, then we can proceed with the exercise. Uh, right. So yeah, we did these two parts, part number one and part number two, and then this third part is when user is viewing this page from a smaller device, or let's say smartphone. These three fields should be displayed by default. Yeah. So what does this mean? Right. So maybe I can show this to you in this way, right? So you know that Arena client is made for uh, the web, and specifically it is made to made to be displayed in a wide range of devices. So in here we are seeing it on a laptop screen. So this is my laptop screen that I'm showing to you, and it is also possible to show this same client, same Arena client, in a small mobile screens. Right. So let me show you how. Maybe let me show you a demo. Maybe. So I'll hit F12. So I just hit F12, or you can also just right click and click inspect. So both of these actions would get the uh, dev tools, right? So what I'll do is I'll get this dev tools window. So you can do that too. And then I'll dock this DevTools towards the side of this screen. And in the DevTools, you might see this. Let me, yeah. So in the DevTools, you might see this this little icon there that has a sort of a uh, phone icon, and it is the button to toggle the device toolbar. So when you click on it, something interesting happens, and that is this window gets squeezed into uh, a small viewport, right? So this is very you can see this is highlighted right now. So because the device toolbar is active, so this is very convenient if you are testing your website, and if you want to see how it would look like in smaller screens. And so in from here I can actually select different devices. So there's iPhone SE, maybe Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus, right? Or iPhone 12, something is there too. Yes, it's there too, right? So different devices could be, uh, used. For example, there are certain iPad-like devices as well, medium-sized devices, and you can also uh, toggle the orientation of the device. So this is how this site would look like in an iPad, right? Uh, so I'll just choose something like, let's say, Galaxy S8, and this is what it will look like. And also I can refresh it, and something interesting will happen. So already you can see that something interesting has happened. You can only see the company ID and the branch ID, but if I refresh this, yeah, so it'll change the. So maybe I can make it a bit bigger, right? It'll change the layout actually, right? It'll change the layout, and it'll create a layout that is better suited for uh, you know uh, the mobile screen, right? So this is the layout that we get. In here you can see that there are a couple of fields. The company ID is there, branch ID is there, and then inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity. So how and if I actually now turn off the device toolbar and then refresh it, just so we remember what were the fields uh, that were there. Yeah, let's get this. Yeah. So there's this quantity and reorder level as well. So there are some other fields too. So as you can see, as I resize this window, you can see that those reorder level that just went away. And if I keep resizing this window, columns go away. And at this point, you can see that it's just there's no quantity that we can see. So what the framework is doing is it is actually prioritizing the columns it can show. So typically these parent keys and the primary keys are important. So they are shown off first, right? And then as the screen real estate allows, extra columns are shown, and if there is not enough screen width or height, the columns are actually hidden from the view, right? And uh, so this is this has a kind of a ranking where the columns you declare first will be shown to the user, right? So in this case, the column order is that company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, and so on and so forth. So these are the columns that will get prioritized. But what we've been asked to do in the exercise is that when viewing this page from the smaller device, these inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity. So this makes sense, isn't it? So in a screen like this, maybe the company ID and the branch ID is not really that important, but the inventory ID it might be unique across the application, and then the quantity, inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity. So these three are very important. So it makes sense that when the device is made smaller, these three fields are always shown, even at the expense of fields like company ID and branch ID, right? So that's what we are going to do. So the way to do that is, let me show you, and maybe I can create a new text document first. That would be still exercise number 10, is it? Yes, it is 10. Continued, right? So yeah, I'll close this one. Right. So here's how you would do it. It's just it's pretty simple. There's a keyword code field ranking, but before that, do we have a lot of? I see a lot of problems here. Yeah, I'm just seeing this right now. Okay, so Mohammed, the correct order to deploy would be, deploy the enumeration first, and then I hope you have deployed the CDB before. If not, deploy the CDB then. So enumerations, CDB if required, and then the entities and the utility at once. So all the entities plus the utility at once, right? And then finally the client. So enumerations, CDB, entities and the utility. So let me put that in the chat. Enums, CDB, entities, utility, and then clients. So that would be the order. And optionally, you can actually run these insert scripts if you want data. You do want data, so just run the insert scripts as well afterwards. Right. Yeah. So how about the troubles? Tilda got it working. Anyone else having trouble? Any troubles? All right. Okay. Right. So we were talking about this field ranking. So let me show you how to do that. Uh, yeah. It's just what you can do is at the bottom of the list, you can just say I'll do a control space and there's a keyword called field ranking. Yeah. So it's you can get that, and then what you do is uh, you just specify a list of uh, fields, right? So these fields are actually what are the fields? We'd like the inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity. So inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity. Okay. So these things we can specify just as a comma separated list. So let me put that in the chat. I'll actually copy all this thing and then remove the parts that doesn't make any sense. So this is not, these parts are not required for this exercise. I'll leave them. Save, yes. Right, so just field ranking. So it's easy enough, field ranking, and then your fields that you want to rank first above all else, right? So I can deploy this. And now if I, let me just uh, refresh it, I'll refresh it. And then I'll start, you know, making this viewport very small, right? So as I do that, reserved quantity, reorderable, they go away. However, see what happens to quantity. So quantity doesn't go away. Inventory ID, product ID, they don't go away. The branch ID just went away. And then company ID will go away too as I do this, right? So yeah, so that's what happens. So the same will happen if I bring up the device toolbar as well. Right? So the same thing happens even if I refresh. Now it will make sure that those fields, the inventory ID, product ID, and the quantity, they are shown. And in this format, the branch ID can be shown and the company ID can be shown as well. So they are also shown, right? And if I actually do a custom, yeah, it'll still work. Right. So I'll give you a minute to do that. Again, this mobile friendly layout doesn't go away even after you toggle the device toolbar. If you want the normal view, you might want to reload it. And I can get rid of this uh, developer tools too. And now, thankfully, after we set the field ranking, the duplicate columns, they have gone away too. I'm not sure if that's true for you guys as well. Like
They
I
are
said, it's a cache
at
issue.
the end.
They're at the end.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, let's see. Are they?
The quantity, right?
Quantity and
No.
the there was a duplicate quantity and the duplicate branch ID. So they are gone.
Oh yeah, they're not there anymore. Got it.
Yeah, yes. Right. Right. So
Sampath, can
we
you
can
change this to a table view?
table view and test. Okay, let's try that.
We have that branch ID, that column is still there in the table view.
Yeah, table view, it has it. Maybe yeah, the table view doesn't even change. So so there is a problem with the table view, but this should go away once you build this. So that is typically what I've seen. Kind of a problematic thing. Yeah, there's another thing that we can do, but give me a moment. There's something else I need to do. After I do that, let's try that. Yeah, so let's see what else we can do with the exercise. And the fourth part is, actually this is part number 3, isn't it? Yes. The fourth part is add a summary to display the total product quantity. So what is that? So it's something like this. You get a summary, or maybe a, a sum of all the number of products. It doesn't make sense because we have different products, but if you're actually filtering by a single product, it'll make sense. However, you can just to show that you can do that, I will do it, right? So the keyword is again summary, and then you provide a list of fields that you want a summary for. So if you have several numeric fields, you can specify all of them. So if I want a summary for quantity, so this is what I'll do. So I can deploy this, and then if I refresh it, let's get the list view, I think. Yeah, down there you can see a summary of quantity. And if you want a summary of the reorder level and the reserved quantity as well, and what are the field names? Sorry, manage products. Yeah, reorder level and reserved quantity. So I can specify them as well. Here you go. So you have a sum of it, and I'll put that little bit of code in the file as well. So you don't need these two. You can just have the quantity if you want.
Can I have a question?
Sure.
I deployed this summary thing, and I see that it doesn't match the sum of the columns.
Yeah,
or maybe I need to show more, so it summarizes all the rows.
It
regardless.
actually, yes, good catch, Janos. So the idea is that this, even though this only populates a limited number of rows, this summary should show you the sum of all the records that is available for your query. So I think if you actually filter by a product ID, what's the product ID? I think this is a product ID that is common. So if I filter by a product ID, more product ID, and if I do that, yes, so then it will show you the summary for this product, right? So it depends on your filter. If you don't have a filter, it will show the summary for everything that is in the database. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll give you a minute to do that. So hopefully, yes, I've posted that in the chat and the file. How about the file? Yes, that's there.
Sampath, question.
Yes.
The summary that you're showing right now, is there a way you can turn it off in the application? Like suppose I'm working in the application and I don't want to see the summary all the time, or I want to turn it off. Is there a way you can do that? Like through
I don't think there is a way.
because .NET Client, you could do that. You could do a search and say sum and all that stuff. But is this always going to be on?
I think it's always going to be on. I haven't seen anything that that allows me to actually disable or maybe create a summary in Arena. So I don't think that is possible.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's going to be always on then, the sum.
Yes, it's a kind of a design feature that you will have to design if you want one, right? But there are other ways. So we will see that we can export it. So that is also possible. So then you can use Excel, things like that to do extract operations if you want to. Right. So then let's. There are two small things. Then fifth one asks you to create a card, this TRN Unity product card, and set it as a default layout for TRN Unity products overview. But this is already done. So creating the card is already done. So let me show that to you. There, yeah. So this card is created, TRN Unity product card, and in there, you know, in the TRN Unity product list, the card is used. And actually, we can see that if you change the, you can change it to the card view. It will show you the card view. And notice that the summary is gone. And what the exercise wants us to do is make it the default view. The card view should be the default view. So we have done that before for another one, and we can do it here as well. So sorry. So that is you add an initial view attribute, and you say card view. So you have done that. So I'll put that in the document as well and in the chat. But if I deploy it now and then try to refresh it, it'll not show me the card view. The reason for that is I have previously, as a user, selected this list view. So I'm in the list view right now, and this chosen view gets saved in something called a user profile. So this user profile is saved in the database, and therefore, when the page is populated, the framework sees that I have chosen the list view as the user. So therefore, it will show me the list view always. However, I can force it to revert to the default view by clearing my profile. So what I'll do is I'll search for profile in the navigator, and there's this explore profile and profiles. And in there, we see all the profiles of all the users that are there. And I can see that I have logged in as IFS application owner. Therefore, what I'll do is I'll find this IFS application owner profile. So let me get that table view so I can see it clearly. Right. Yeah. So this is IFS application owner personal profile. So this is the profile of my current logged in user. What I'll do is I'll clear this. So there's this menu called clear profile. So I'll run it for IFS app application owner personal. Profile cleared, and what I'll do is I'll go here, refresh it, and then go back to manage inventories. and this is inventory products we want to go. And now you can see that the card view is the default view we get. Right? So that is because the profile is clear. And let's see if that has fixed our problem with the quantity. So in this view, it was okay. But how about the table view? Yeah, it's not fixed. So unfortunately, we have to stick to the list view, and the caching issue stays. Right. Another thing I want to show you is that export inventory product information to an Excel sheet. So that is something you can do. I wanted to show that to you. Let me select one of these. And if I click this sort of a drop-down menu, so there are a couple of options you have. One of those options is this copy data link. So if I click that, it will copy a link to my clipboard, and I can go and open that link. I'll paste and go to this copied link, and it will actually show me the record of the selected item. And if I didn't select anything, and if I did the copy data link, it will do a different thing where everything is populated, right? So this is useful if you're using certain third-party applications. So for example, since this is JSON, and actually this conforms to the OData protocol, right? So therefore, there are a lot of applications. For example, even Excel can use OData feeds. So even Excel, you can use these OData fields, but there's a trick that you need to actually log in. Also, I'm not going to try that right now because it will take time. But if you figure that out, how to log in the Excel to the application, you should be able to use these links as OData fields in Excel, and you should be able to fill Excel sheets with data that you see, right? And the other option is you can either export all rows or export selected rows. So I'll do a export all rows, and then you have the option of visible columns only or all columns. So I'll do an all columns export. And it'll take a couple of seconds, and then it'll download an Excel document. And unfortunately, Excel isn't installed on these VMs. So therefore, what I'll do is I'll just copy this to my local machine, and then I'll open it from there. Give me a moment. So this is what you'd see. So you will get all the columns, and the data is there as well, right? Yeah. So that is something we can do. And then what else? Yeah. So that concludes exercise number 10. And there's this advanced exercise that we will not do. Yeah. And then we will talk about using commands. But before that, do you have any questions? Right. So if you don't have any questions, I think I have a slide deck for you. So let's talk about what these commands are. So there are things called commands in Arena. So basically, these commands are, these buttons that you see in here. And if I go to somewhere else, let's say users. And so these kinds of buttons, right? So if you click a user, you will get to see, more buttons, right? So set password, expire password. So these things like that. These are commands and they are available as menus as well. So the set password and expire password, that is available as menus, right? So if you are familiar with the concepts of developing APF, this is a bit like the RMPs you had in IFS Enterprise Explorer, but it, they are a bit different. So you will see what the difference is in a second, right? So let me get to the slide deck. So commands. So these commands or these buttons are there to do different things. And first of all, they are used to invoke things called functions and actions. So these are actually web service endpoints in OData web services, right? So we'll talk about these functions and actions in a moment. And you can use it to navigate to other pages, open dialogues, download files, and then show some messages like info messages. So there are 4 types of messages: info, success, warning, and error. So all of these are just messages, and then you can have a confirmation dialog, right? A small yes no dialog, and these things can be invoked by using commands, and we have a couple of examples. So for navigation, so this is the first example we'll see. So you can use this syntax to create a command. So each command has a name, and optionally the command could be created for a certain entity type, or it could be not created for an entity type as well, right? So if you create a command for an entity type, you get to use the attributes in that entity type, right? So in this case, what we have done is we have created a command called go to customer, and that uses the customer order entity, and it has a label. So that's what will be displayed in the button as the button text. And then this execute section tells us what should be done when you click that button, and it doesn't navigate. So this navigate means you are going to another page, and that page is specified with some arguments, right? And so you can go to another page. So this is the code for that. And then this one, as you can see, this will open up a mail client, because it's trying to navigate to a mail to URL, right? It will actually open up the mail client. And you can go to a web page as well. So for example, you can navigate to ifsworld.com or ifs.com. So this slide deck should update. And then you can have a command to yeah, so this will actually probably bring up your Teams or some VoIP client, right? So these kinds of things can be done, right? And then there are functions and actions. We won't go into those details just yet, right? So let's see what we can do with the exercise with that knowledge in mind. So in this exercise 11, so that's what we'll do next. In this exercise, we will be working with TRN Unit Products Overview. So this is the same one we've been working in. And we want to create a command to navigate to TRN Products Overview when the user selects a single record. Okay, so let me explain what that means. So this window shows the number of product quantities in each inventory, right? So what we want to do is, when we select a record, we want to have a button that we can click, or maybe a menu that we can click, and that'll bring us to the product page. So that product page is in somewhere else. So let me show that to you. It's in manage products. Products. So this product ID, let's say 2118. So we want to populate the product number 2118 in this products overview. So we want to go to this page. So let me get the URL of that page. So this page is manage products and TRN product overview. So okay, so that's what we want to do. And how can we do that? So let me show you how to do that. What I'll do is I'll create a command. So I'll scroll up and there's a command section and I'm working in manage products.cust. Okay. So because the changes we are doing in the TRN in product list. So that's where we'll be creating the commands too. Right. So I'll create a command. So the keyword is of course command, as you have seen in that slide deck. And then you need to provide a command name. I'll call it view product. And then I'm creating this command for TRN inventory product. The reason is that, you know, we want to get the product record for this TRN inventory product, isn't it? So therefore, we are working with an entity. So therefore, I'll have TRN inventory product here. And then I'll give it a label. View product seems to be fine. Product. And then you can do certain things. For example, you can have an enable. And then you could, we want this to be enabled always. So this could be conditionally enabled, but we want it to be enabled. And if it's always enabled, you don't have to specify this. So the enabled is actually by default true. Enabled flag is default set to true. Therefore, I can put that. I just wanted to show that to you, but I'll just comment it out because we don't need that piece of code. And of course, then there is this thing called mode, right? So let me get that and explain what that is, right? So this mode refers to when the command shows up, right? So if the mode is global, what will happen is the command button will be always shown in the list. However, if it's single record, it will only show up if only a single record is selected. On the other hand, if it's selected records, it will show up even when multiple records are selected. Right? So what I want to do is, as the exercise tells me, I want to enable this command when a user selects a single record, only one record. So therefore, I'll use single record, and that tells us when this command is enabled, right? And then we want to tell what happens exactly when this command is clicked by someone. And to express that, we will use this execute block. Execute creates a little code block, and then in there we can do different things. So let me do a control space, and this has a list of things that we can do. So there are agent call alert. So this is a message, right? So you can alert, or you can create a kind of a message, and then you can invoke something called an assistant. So you can call a function or a action. So we don't know what functions and actions are, and we can have a confirm message box. We can invoke a dialog. We can download a file. We can have an error message, or different things like that. So there are some logic too that you can do. You can have if else conditions, and can have kind of a bit of procedural programming, but it's not very rich. The procedural aspect of the this execute block is not very rich. But you will also have this navigate action, and there are two things you can do with navigate, and there's a example. So you could say navigate order summary. So this is a page name, right? No, actually, yeah, this one. So navigate order summary. So this order summary is a page name, and then you can give a order number, some parameters, right? So that's what we will be doing. And navigate, because we want to navigate to the TRN product overview, That's the one we will provide as the page ref. And then as arguments, the TRN products keys are actually, let me see. Its keys are company ID and the product ID. So I'll specify those keys as arguments. And luckily, we have those same columns in the, or maybe same fields in the TRN unit product as well. Company ID and the product ID. Right. So let me put that piece of code in the file. And this should compile. Yes, it does. And this is a new exercise, isn't it? Let me close that. Oh, maybe we'll leave it. X11. Right. And then in the chat as well. Oh. Right. So we have created this command and we have deployed it. And let me try to go back and refresh my client. And we'll have a problem. So the command that we created isn't there, and even it's not there even if I select this. The reason is that just creating a command doesn't cut it. We have to add this command to the list as well. So what I'll do is I'll just go to this list, the TRN inventory product list, and then at the very end, I'll say command. And then you can have a command reference. So view product command, I will add it to the inventory product list. So this should compile. And it does. And I'll remove this extra parts. Put that in the chat as well. Yes. And now if I try to, yes, I deployed it. And if I try to refresh it, and it won't show up. However, if I select something, now the view product shows up. And it'll do the right thing as well. So if I click the view product, so remember that the company ID is TCS and the product ID is 2118. So if I do the view product for it, there you go. So the product record shows up in the TRN product overview window page, right? And I can do it for something else. So this time I'll use this RMB version of the command. 2122. Yes, so that works.
Question. So
Yes.
Yesterday we did something similar, but we had to use the whole path, right? Page, manage
Right.
companies, and then we're not using this time because we are in the same layer, I would say.
Yes. So excellent question there. Right. You're absolutely correct. And yes, that is the reason. So this TRN products overview is actually defined in managed products, which is what we are actually customizing here. Managed products.cust is the file we are working on. So managed product client has this page. That's my page. TRN products overview is there. So that's why we can use it. Just exactly because what you said, it is because it's in the same client model. So even though it's in a different file, managed products.client versus managed product-cust.client, they are both in the same client model. So this client model is managed products. right? So if they are in the same client model, irrespective of the layer, you can use that page directly. However, if it's not the case, if it's in a different client, then what you would need is you'd need something like this page. This isn't projection name, actually it should be the client name, so the documentation is wrong there. It should be page, client name, and the page name, and then you can have extra filters. You can have a condition just like we did yesterday.
Sampath, another question here. When you're showing that enabled equal to true, you just commented that out. Is there a
Yes.
way, suppose you're working in the real application and you have to enable the menu item or the button or the command only if that module is installed? Can you do that over here?
Only if the module is installed.
Yeah, like for example, if you had to go to customer orders from one particular screen and if the customer did not purchase the order module, you don't want the button to be enabled.
I think there should be a way. I forget now. So Tiny, do you remember anything of something like that? I think there was a way, and that is a common use case too.
Yeah,
and,
because I have a case with a customer sometime soon, like regarding something like this.
Yeah, there should be a way, but I need to. Yeah. So okay, there are some questions I need to answer, so I'll answer them. Okay. Let me put that in my list. Dynamically enabling a command. So I think it should be a fairly common use case, and yeah, there should be a way to do that. And I can't, on the top of my head, I can't. I don't remember.
I think it's something like you might have to call component underscore sys is enabled and then give the module name or something like that. If it gives a true, then it's
Yeah.
going to.
So let me try that. Let's say, what can I?
Yeah, you'll have to find out which module this is.
This one, isn't it?
Yeah, like you're calling products, so products is in what module?
Is it? Oh, I don't really remember. Let me actually check that because I can't really remember this right now. So I'll.
Okay.
Like I said, it should be possible. I'll get back to you guys on that. Yes.
Yeah, no
Thanks
problem.
for that question. Right. So then I hope you have done that. Then the second part of the question is to actually alter the command that we just created. Alter the functionality of the command so that once the user invokes the command after selecting multiple records, the respective product record should be displayed in the destination page. So yeah, so how can we do that? So of course this has the mode single record, and we can see that it only activates if only single record is selected. For no records, no command. One record, yes command. And for more than one records, no command, right? So actually we can change this mode, single record mode, to selected records. So that means, multiple selected records, right? And I can deploy it, and I can test it, but it'll fail. Let me show how that fails. So I can click 1, the view product is enabled. Click 2 or 3, it's still enabled, right? And then I can click view product. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. The reason is that this execute behavior now has to change. So instead of execute, we have to call something called a bulk execute. So it's just like execute, but it does it for multiple records. So if the multiple records are selected, it's the bulk execute section of the command that gets executed. But if the single record is executed, it's just it'll execute the normal execute section, right? And this too we can deploy. However, there's still a problem. I'll show that to you. So again, I can refresh it. And let me select few records, and then I'll do a view product. And this time it will go to the correct window. However, it will not give us any data. And you can see that the filter says company ID equals null and product ID equals null. So that's not correct. The reason is that, so if you use bulk execute, this navigate can't be used. Instead of that, we have a separate keyword called bulk navigate. And it will actually now work, right? So let me put that code in the, code for the new command, new code for the command, maybe like this. So now this is obsolete. Put that in the chat as well. Right. Now I can deploy it and see if it works. Come back, refresh the window, do a hard refresh there, and then select a couple of records and do a view product, 18 and 20. Yeah, so those two products are now shown. So this is the code. This is a simple change. You have three places to change. You have to change the mode, and then you have to change the execute to bulk execute, as well as navigate to bulk navigate.
Sampath, another question. Suppose you want the view products to be enabled only if the number of rows that you selected, like have the reorder level greater than 20. Can that be done, like conditionally enabling the button?
I think it should be possible to do. Let me try that now that you ask. Let's try that. If I do that, let's see what happens. Okay. Now there's a problem, isn't it? So yeah, let me declare a different command actually, because it's a bulk command. Enable this one. I'll get it here. Mode single, and then execute. And I'll show you something here. Say info works. So you can have a kind of a small message as well in the execute section. There are different things that you can do with the execute section. Right? So let me put that command in the list as well. So this is how you add multiple commands. You just add them one after other. So let me do that. Do a refresh. And if the reorder level test is enabled, we don't have a reorder level. Yeah, maybe I can change it to 20 or something. So yeah, test is not there when the reorder level is 10. And then let's see this 23 one. Now it's there. And if I click the test now, it works.
Thank you.
So you can do things like that too. Yeah. So thanks for that question. That allows me to show you something. Yeah. So let me put that in the file as well. Right. So then what? So we have this exercise number 12 about functions and actions. And using the dialogue, we will do certain things about functions and actions as well. Right. So therefore, what we are going to do is we are going to skip this exercise number 12, and we are going to talk a bit about functions and actions. Right. So let me get my deck of slides. Sorry. So there are things called functions. Maybe before I show you how to use functions, maybe I should tell you what functions are. Right. So let me show you this product handling SVC. Right. So this product handling SVC, this is a service document. This is the service document of the product handling SVC projection. So what is this projection? It's essentially a OData web service. And the values, this list of values that you see in this projection are actually a list of endpoints in this service. For example, if you just append, if you just copy this product handling SVC and then just append one of these URLs, let's say TRN product set, at the end of it, you will get a list of products, right? So all these endpoints are like that. So they are entity sets. They are entity set endpoints, and they are the only type of endpoint that these web services have. For example, you can have an endpoint, and by calling that endpoint, you can get some sort of value, like a function call. So you're like calling a function. You can call that endpoint and get a value from it, right? Not a maybe a list of entities, but just a value, right? And there are some other types of things that you can call it and make it do some changes in the database, right? So those are called actions. So let me show you what this means, right? So let me create a function and an action in here, and then you will realize what this means, right? Right. So just so you don't have to follow me here. Please see what I'm doing, and it'll make sense when I do that. So I'll go to this product handling cost projection. Okay. And there are two sections called actions and functions, right? In this function section, I will do something like this. I will create something called a function. So you don't yet know what this is. I'll call it get hello and type text. And I don't need this block. I'll just right. So this is a function, and so there's an error that comes up, and it asks me to get it. It tells me that get hello has not been implemented, right? And I'll also implement that as well. I'll click this generate skeleton, and it asks me to create a file. I'll do that. So just bear with me here. right? And it actually creates a PLSQL function called getHello with 3 underscores. And I'll implement this function by just saying return hello. Or maybe, right. Okay. And then let me deploy this. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the service document. Let me close this. I'm going to go to the service document. I don't think there would be any change here. Yeah, there is, right? So there is this extra entry. Now that's here now. So its name is getHello, and it is it has a kind. It's a function import, right? So there's something about this service document. So if it doesn't specify a kind, it's actually an entity set, which means you can get rows of records by calling it, and you can update the records, and using that endpoint you can update that set of records. You can delete that set of records, and so on and so forth, right? But if the kind is function import, it's sort of a thing that you can call to get a value, right? So let me show you how to call this. Just get rid of this, and then I'll get the URL of this getHello endpoint, and I'll append that. And since it's a function, I'll have these two brackets as well. And when I type in this URL, so what happens actually? The browser sends a get HTTP request to this endpoint, this getHello endpoint, and then it sends me a JSON document which has a value hello. So what is this? So in OData, there are endpoints of type function that you can call and get a value. You call that endpoint and it will return some sort of a value. So it's just like calling a function in a regular programming language, except you are now calling a web service to get some sort of value. And this is the way you create a function in our OData service. Each of the OData services are associated with a projection, and you declare a function in the projection. So when you declare a function, function is declared, but then there is a way of calculating the returned value, and that needs to be implemented, right? So there should be a way that the value is returned. So this PLSLC takes care about that, right? So if you check this product handling projection, so this PLSVC wasn't there before. When I tried to implement it, when I tried to implement the getHello function, it created the file for me, right? And actually, maybe I should delete it. I'll do it in a second. It created the file for me, and in that file, it created this getHello implementation. So what happens is, okay, this OData service is there, this getHello endpoint is there, but the way that value is returned, we have to code that in the database. So that execution of that function actually happens in the database. Therefore, we need a PLSQL function that actually does the execution. So this is what that is. This getHello function is the implementation of the getHello endpoint, the function endpoint we declare in the projection, right? Right. So did you grasp that? Is it okay with you? Any questions? Right. Okay. Right. So then I can expand on my example, and so this is a function, and if you know about programming a bit, you know that functions can have parameters. It's not always usable that functions don't have parameters. So if the function, what we can do is we can change this function and make it have a parameter, right? So the way to do that would be like this. So I could say parameter. Let's say this function takes a name and says hello name or something. So then the parameter could be name, and then that parameter's types is text, right? So when you do that, again it complains that get hello has not been implemented. So I'll click this and do a generate skeleton. Yes. And now we have a new get hello function with the name, and this old get hello function, it's not useful. I can delete that part. Right. And then I can use this name and say hello name, maybe. Something like that. And I can deploy this. And in fact, I can show you the metadata document. That's the inventory handling, isn't it? I would like the product handling. There you go. So there's a function in the metadata document right now. It has a parameter named name, right? So how to call this function? So if I again do this, did I deploy this? Let's deploy this. Yes, I did deploy it. If I again invoke it, it will tell me that function not found. The function import get hello has no function with parameters empty list, right? So there's no get hello function with 0 parameters. Therefore, we have to specify a parameter, and the parameter I'll specify like this: name equals Sampath. So okay, metadata modified. I can do that again. Now I get hello Sampath, right? So this is a sort of a function. And yeah, so any questions about that? So you can parameterize the function as well. Okay, so then there is this thing called bound versus unbound functions. So there are bound functions and then unbound functions. What we did here, what we created here is actually an unbound function. Right? So what does that mean? So boundness mean that the function is it's bound to some entity. And let me create a bound function, and you will understand the difference. So what you can do is you can declare functions in the projection root. So this is the projection root, right? So it's directly in the projection document. You can create functions here in this function section. But what you can also do is you can actually create functions inside entities. So what I can do is I can create a function for this TRN inventory product entity. So let me do that. I'll create a, let's say we want to get the available quantity in the TRN inventory product. So maybe we can get it by reducing the reserved quantity from the quantity, right? So let's say we have a function like this function get available quantity, and it will return a number, of course, right? And I'll say this doesn't have any parameters, and then I can save it. However, it complains to me. It says that the get available quantity has not been implemented, right? So I can click on it and then do a generate skeleton. Yes. Right. Now a skeleton is created. However, now this function has this key parameter of type trn inventory product key. So what is this? And what exactly is this product handling cust PLSVC? So if you actually check the generated files of the product handling projection, you will see, you learned about the product handling SVC file. So this SVC file actually has a bunch of methods like CRUD create, a lot of CRUD create methods, CRUD copy, CRUD update, and so on and so forth. A lot of methods, and then it has a couple of sections, and it has this product handling SVC package, the package definition, as well as the package body of the product handling SVC. Right? So this product handling SVC has a lot of methods. Right? There's a lot of code. So where does this code come from? So this code actually comes from this product handling base PLSVC. If you open up the product handling base PLSVC, you will see that all the methods in the product handling SVC are actually declared on all the types and the methods and everything that is there is actually declared in this product handling base PLSVC, right? So the idea is that the projection actually creates a web service. However, the implementation of the web service is a PLSQL package, right? So this product handling SVC is that PLSQL package that implements the product handling web service or the projection, right? The methods that are in the methods and types and everything, all the code that's in the package is actually declared in this base PLSVC file. However, sometimes we want to add code to this product handling SVC. In that event, what we do is, just like this product handling base PLSVC, we can create an extra PLSVC file. It could be product handling.plsvc. And in case, since we are working in the cust layer, it's the product handling cust PLSVC. In this product handling cust PLSVC, we can actually declare extra methods, right? For example, if I now declare a function here, extra method, return number is begin, return 0, end, right? So if I declare it, and if I do a generate code for product handling, yeah, I have a syntax error, this one. So I'll just have a null here just to get around that. So if I do a generate code for this one, it will create this product handling SVC file, and I can open that up, and I can actually find this extra method in there. There you go. And that's the definition as well as the declaration, right? So the product handling SVC will have that extra function that I've declared in the PLSVC. So these functions get implemented just like that as well. And okay, so we were talking about this get available quantity and what this TRN product key is. So I can actually again open up the product handling SVC and search for TRN inventory product key, and it's a record type with these 4 fields: company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, and product ID. And that makes sense because these are the keys of the TRN inventory product logical unit. And what are we doing here? We are actually creating a bound function for TRN inventory product. So when you create a bound function for some entity, what happens is it will create a function that is bound for a single record of that entity. And what is that single record? And that's the key. So this record actually indicates the key. So maybe we can just return the return trn inventory product API dot get quantity, and then you can specify the what are the keys: company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, and product ID. So key dot company ID, and then the same thing, company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, and the product ID. Right. And maybe minus the reorder level, maybe I'll just hard code the 10 here, right? Yeah. So just so that you can weave it better, right? So you can do something like this. So this function is actually bound to a single record of TRN unit product, right? So that's what bound functions are. And I can deploy it. It deploys without a problem. However, it's really hard to invoke this function. So therefore, I will not do that. It is possible, but it's a bit hard, right? Yeah. So those are bound functions versus unbound functions. What are bound functions? They are declared within an entity, and they can only operate on the entity. Whereas unbound functions, they are declared directly in the projection, and they can operate. They have more freedom. They can work with other things as well. So typically, bound functions are very useful if you want a function that works with a single entity, right? Single record of a single entity, basically. Yes.
Excuse me, question here. I see that all those methods of functions in this SVC package are suffixed with three underscores, but yet they are obviously we are obviously able to call them, so they are published. So what's the convention here?
Right. So excellent question there. So if I let's just consider this get hello function, right? So let me search hello here. Should give us a couple of results. Right. So can you see this rd get hello? So this is a public function, right? And this public function, as you can see, actually calls the get hello implementation method, and also there are some extra things as well. There's a call to logsys and so on, and there are some other things that's going on, right? And so this is the function. This public function is the one that got called actually when we invoked this get hello endpoint in the web service. So the web service always invokes this public function, and that function underneath it invokes the this private function. Right?
Okay, I see. And is there anything RD stands for at the beginning? RD?
I'm not exactly sure what that stands for.
Okay, never mind. It's not that
yeah.
important.
Yeah, not maybe something they have come up with. I really don't know.
Okay.
I just know that there's a public function. Okay, so the same happens for get available quantity too. So that's what get called. So actually you can invoke that with a company ID, branch ID, inventory ID, and those four things if you want to, and it'll return some number. Right? So you can try that if you create a function like that. But since it'll take time, I won't do it. Right. And then I'll talk a bit about this actions, right? So in this endpoint, what you did was you called the database and you got something out of it. You read a value, right? So in functions in OData, you're not supposed to modify the database. You can't have side effects. So in a function, you can't save things to the database. You can't modify data, right? You are only supposed to read the values and then just you know uh, return them as the result of the function. But sometimes that's not what you want. You want to do some changes in the database. For example, let's say you might want to unreserve. So for example, we have a reserved quantity here. You might want to unreserve uh, everything, set reserved quantity to 0 of this product, right? So when something like that happens, of course, the data changes, and you can't do that with functions. You need something called an action. So the difference between functions and actions is that actions can have side effects. Actions can have data changes, whereas functions cannot have data changes, right? So let me illustrate this example with a simple bound action. So again, actions can have these two types of things, bound actions versus unbound actions, just like functions, right? So I'll create this action, this bound actions in TR and Unity, let's say action, and I'll call it unreserved. Unreserved. So this is supposed to maybe set the reserved quantity to 0, right? And actions can return something as well. So there's a type 2. For example, I can return text, but typically actions are not supposed to return anything. So I'll omit the type, and then even again, actions and functions, even bound ones, they can have parameters, but for the brevity, I'm omitting them. Okay, and action again I can create the implementation of that bound action unreserved, right? I'll click generate skeleton, and when I actually click the generate skeleton, it creates the skeleton. So this unreserved procedure is created. However, it actually asks me to generate the skeleton again. So this is a bug in the IDE. So it will ask twice. You don't have to say yes both times. You just can say no on the second time. Otherwise, it will actually create two skeletons. Right? So there's now this procedure on reserve, and then I don't want to do anything, so I'll just implement it with a null. Maybe it might call something like let's say this what's this API, TRN Unity Product API dot, let's have a hypothetical method called unreserved. Let's say it's a private method, and then you can have all these keys as well, right? Key dot something something. You can specify the keys from here as well, right? So that'll do the unreserved action, right? So that is how an action is created. So you just say action. You don't specify your return type, and then you can even have parameters for that action as well. And again, just like that, you can have unbound actions as well. So just like we have functions here, there are actions, and I can say action. What could be a good, let's say unreserved all products or something. No type. And again, this can have parameters or not, depending on what you like or what your requirement is. So let's say there's a parameter minimum level or something. It's a number, right? Yeah, so things like that can be done. Again, this has to be implemented. I can generate a skeleton for this. I can say no for this second one. So this could be unreserved all products, and I'll call a null for it. And then, of course, it could call something like, let's say, trn inventory. Let's just hypothetical utility API. Okay, dot unreserved all or something. Then minimum level. So typically the pattern is, in these implementation methods in the PLSVC, you don't have a lot of logic. You have the minimum logic that you can have, and you are actually delegating. Your logic should be in either utility API or normal entity APIs, and then you are just calling that API from this PLSVC. You should not have a lot of code here. Possibly, few lines of code that calls few other things, right? Ideally, a single line of code that calls some method in an underlying entity API or a utility API, right? Right. So then I can try to deploy this, but we should have a problem, and we get an error. No initial check has been added. The property initial check needs to be added to all unbound actions. So what does this mean? So this is actually related to security, and let me fix that, and then let me tell you what this is all about. So I'll say initial check none, and that will let me compile it. Right. So when you create an action, you are actually creating a web endpoint that can change the database. So security is a consideration. So you have to consider security. Right? So therefore, all the unbound actions, so the bound actions are sort of okay because these entities are actually controlled by presentation objects and those things, and they need to be controlled. So they are controlled, and the framework actually makes sure that if a certain user doesn't have access to a certain record of this TRN inventory product entity, they will not be able to perform this action on that record, right? So that is actually taken care of by the framework. However, these unbound actions aren't like that. So there's no security check in here. Well, there has to be a security check in here that the framework, because the framework can't do it. Therefore, we need this initial check. So actually this initial check can have three values. The first value is none. So this says that the programmer doesn't think this is or maybe a programmer actually takes the responsibility, and then they are saying that there is no security check needed, right? So that's what this says. Initial check none means the programmer understands the gravity of the situation, and he has concluded that no security check is needed, right? And the other thing you can do is, so let me just none. Did I deploy it? Yeah, it will get deployed. Okay, so the other value, the second value of 3 is implementation. So if I do that, what will happen is, let me try to deploy this. It'll do it, but let me try to open up the PLSVC. Okay, not the PLSVC, actually the SVC. Where can I find this? Okay. Right. So there will be a implementation secret check. So there is just, I wanted to show this method, right? So what this means is that, if it's implementation, programmer says, okay, there could be security implications. However, this implementation method actually takes care of this. So the implementation method actually will take care of this. So there should be some code that actually checks for security in this unreserved all products method. And then the third value could be a custom method. So you could say, let's say, check unreserved. Right? So there should be a method by this name if you say this, right? So let me deploy this and see what happens to the PLSCC. And I'll get an error because now the PLSCC procedure has a sort of a different thing, right? So if you check this method, this has this comment and the null. And then if you see the SVC, that comment and the null is there. However, the code generator has added this part, this if condition, where it calls this, non-existing check unreserved method. So it is actually expecting us to have a check unreserved method in the PLSVC file if you say this, right? So what I can do is I can actually create a function check unreserved return boolean is begin end, and in fact I can return true. So this check unreserved function should take care of validating the security, right? Like this, and now it will compile. So those are the three ways of handling the security of unbound actions. Right? All good. So any questions from you? So unfortunately, I can't actually invoke any action. It's quite hard to do that from the browser because we need the post HTTP actions, HTTP verbs, right? HTTP post requests, in other words. Right. So I hope. Right. So actually, then I hope you're fine with these actions, and therefore what I'll do is I'll actually comment this out and even remove my PLSVC because you haven't done that with me. And then I'll just copy this and save it somewhere else and just delete the file. I'll just delete this file, product handling cast PLSVC. Is it? Yes. Right. So it's like as if we haven't created these functions or actions, anything, right? Right.
I got a question.
Yes. Yes.
To say whether it's a bound or unbound function or action, is it depends on the place that where you define it?
Yes, it does.
So I noticed that to be bound function, you need to define it in entity details section, right? So then it becomes bound.
Yes. So you have to override some entity and then you have to, declare the functions inside the entity.
Inside the entity. Okay.
Yeah.
So then it comes a bound function.
It becomes a bound function or an action.
Action. Okay.
And then if it's unbound, it's directly under its actions or function sections in the product projection. Right?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Right. So any other questions like that? Right. So if you don't have any questions, what I'll do is, should I move on to the next exercise or should we go for a break? So this exercise number 12, you can try this one if you want, and I'll encourage you to do that, but it'll actually repeat the same things. So for practice, it would be great. Again, something you need to know is that, these return types of these functions could be complex types, and actually we can declare complex types here. It's called structures, right? Structures are, things like it's a structure that has several properties. So we'll see what kind of thing that is. But our next exercise number 13, that's the one we are going to do next, and it is about creating a dialogue. So we will create a dialogue, and that dialogue will actually have a function and an action that we can we have to invoke from the dialogue. So therefore, we will have a hands-on experience with functions and dialogue actions when we are creating this dialogue. Right? So what I'll do is I'll actually stop the class for a break now, and then that will be the customary 20-minute break. And then after the break, we will start the exercise number 13. All right. So let me start up the timer.
Sampath, I have a question actually. Is
Sure.
it okay if I shoot now? Yeah.
Yeah.
If there is a requirement to actually add a new function within a particular, an API or something like within an entity, is it
Yes.
necessary that we actually need to create a bound function within the entity, or is it enough to actually kind of customize a PLSQL file?
Yeah. So okay. So there are two things. So you can so if you are used to if you are used in coding in base server, you know that you can create functions and procedures and all those things, right? But if you want to call them from the client, you have to create a function or an action. And if that function actually operates on or if that function or a procedure actually operates on a single record, it makes sense to make it a bound function, right? Because you will anyway have to specify the keys, right? So if you specify that function as a bound function, you get that keys for free. So it's easier, isn't it? So if your function actually works with a single record, then it could be exposed as a bound function if you want to use it from the client, right? And if your function works with multiple records, however, then your function should probably come as a unbound function here, and then you can specify the parameters. So that is a semantic difference. So you can of course declare functions that work with a single record in here as well as an unbound function. There's nothing technical stopping from you to do you doing that, but it's a semantic difference. Yeah, it makes sense to have a bound functions if your PLSQL implementation actually works with a single record. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think you answered it in the first line. I mean, you can still do it in the server level. Only if you need to actually use this in the client or the projection, then only you actually do this as a bound
Yes.
or bound or unbound function call.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah. Okay. Any other questions like that? Right. So if you don't have any questions, we can go for a break. And so I'll start the timer. Right. So see you in 20 minutes then. Bye.